Blackburn, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Undersecretary Kahl, you're going to recognize my questions because I asked them in the hearing in September and you didn't want to answer them then. So let's take another round, another go at it. So as either the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy or in the time between President Biden's inauguration and your confirmation, did you ever have a conversation with General Scott Miller about the future of Afghanistan?
No.
You did not. Okay. During your September testimony on the topic, you told Senator Ernst that you basically didn't have an opportunity to participate in the decision process on Afghanistan because you were at home sitting on your couch. We're all aware that you were pending confirmation prior to late April, but were you actually at home sitting on the couch, or were you involved in the President's decision calculus on when and how to withdraw from Afghanistan?
I had no interactions with the administration because I was trying not to presume confirmation.
Okay. Were you ever part of a rock walk in which General Miller was in the room?
Yeah, the rock drill happened on May 8th, about a week after I took office.
So you were present for that May rock walk?
The rock drill on the retrograde, I was.
Okay, thank you. What we're concerned about, and what I hear from Tennesseans about, is that you all have a tendency to point the finger at the Trump administration, say they didn't know how to lead, but you've taken over and what you've done is to fail to lead. And the DOD leadership is something that people in Tennessee have a lot of concern about. They are seeing apathy, they're perceiving apathy, and they are perceiving a self-righteous indignation that the individuals or the military would question you all. So in this vein, I want to read for you portions of a letter that I received in my office this week. And I'm reading from the letter. Thank you for your work in trying to find answers about the horrible Afghanistan withdrawal. I saw a news report yesterday that the suicide bomber who took my son's life and 12 others was actually a prisoner at Bagram. So then, not only did we leave all of our military equipment, but we also just left these terrorist prisoners in Bagram. And now we find out that the Taliban just released them, which is not a surprise. I have not expressed my anger or political thoughts through this grieving time, but now I hear that this coward had been locked up and someone on our side made the decision to just let these bad guys evaporate into the wind. It really frustrates me beyond belief. Please continue to try to find out who is responsible for the decision to run from Bagram. It sounds like that decision is directly related to the death of my son and the 12 other U.S. service members. Now, I am duty-bound to my constituents, to Tennesseans, and to these military families from our state who have reached out to me about this horrific debacle in Afghanistan. So I need to ask you a few questions, and please bear in mind that you are not speaking to me, that you are speaking to them. So let's throttle any animosity that you have toward me and speak to the Tennesseans, to our service members that want these answers. Who specifically is responsible for the decision to withdraw U.S. forces from Bagram Airfield?
When the president decided that we would withdraw from Afghanistan, we were always going to leave Bagram as a consequence of leaving Afghanistan.
So it was the president's decision?
The president directed that we leave Afghanistan, and then General Miller executed a retrograde that included the leaving Bagram Airfield.
Okay, so the president. Who specifically is responsible for the decision to leave terrorist prisoners in Bagram despite the impending advance of the Taliban forces?
So Parwan Prison, which is the prison you're speaking of, isn't actually at the airfield. It's off the airfield, and it was transferred to the Afghans in 2013. So it wasn't part of the retrograde to transfer that prison. It had been transferred 8 years prior.
Okay. So you're saying that leaving Bagram had absolutely no impact at all on the prisoners being freed. Is that the position of this administration, that you had nothing to do with this?
I mean, I think people of good character and good judgment can disagree. I think that the Afghan National Security Forces had control of the prison, and they were handed control of Bagram Airfield. So when the Taliban overran those forces, they took over both the airfield and the prison.
Yes. So that was a decision made by the president to give up Bagram Airfield and to execute a speedy withdrawal from Afghanistan.
The decision was to leave Afghanistan, which means we were going to leave Bagram, and General Miller's retrograde plan included leaving Bagram.
Thank you.